We're just going to wait till some of you guys come in and get settled. We're going to talk about some of the current issues with DJI and the state of their interaction with our community, and I also want to get your opinions on this. So as you guys come into the room, we'll settle in and we'll talk about DJI in relation to the FPV community, their research and development from what I see, and then how you guys feel about the current offerings and kind of where they're going for future of FPV related releases to our drone market. So as more of you guys get in here, we'll get into it. But I'm comfy here on the couch. I hope you guys are comfortable where you are. Give us a thumbs up on the live stream. Tips are always welcome as well, and just bringing you more insight and news as far as the new DJI releases. We're going to talk about other things in the FPV community that might be coming up. I've also been talking to some other companies behind the scenes, and some of the new releases that are not happening this year. So, that's interesting. There's some companies that have not had any releases recently, and that's due to downside and trends in manufacturing, chip manufacturing being down. So we're suffering quite a few new releases this year. We're not seeing as many or half as many this year for bind and flies as last year. You may have noticed that there's just not a ton of new bind and fly reviews on all the channels, and some of the guys that make their living on YouTube, like I do, this is my job, so we're having to go other places, provide new type of content, but slim pickings out there when it comes to bind and fly quads. And the market's not super oversaturated right now. Last year and the year before we came to almost an all-time high. I think one of the most popular years for FPV was probably in 2017, 2018. And after the pandemic, things, a lot of it's built right there in Wuhan, some of the chips. So things really slowed down. But it looks like we have a good amount of you guys in here now. So we'll just go ahead and get started and get into the meat of what I wanted to talk to you about today. And I was just thinking about this after we did yesterday's live stream, talking about the new DJI Avata that seems to be coming. There's a prototype out there, and we got a good insight on how you guys feel about that possible release. And the sentiment on that seems to be that it's mixed. It's a mixed review. And hi, Lynn, welcome to the channel. Your opinions are mixed, and I would say that after I did my poll today, I do a lot of polls on the channel because we are the direct source for these companies to watch. If they go on my community tab, they can see how you guys feel about different types of releases. Today, I wanted to know on the poll, what would you buy? Would you buy the new DJI Mini 3, the possible Avata release, that's the DJI Cinewoop coming out in July or August? Or would you buy a bind and fly FPV? And most of you guys said bind and fly FPV. And there was a few guys that said they'd build their own, which is also cool. And that's also part of our community. But I feel like, and I may be wrong, but I've been right a lot in the past because I know this market. Myself and others on YouTube have flown more drones than most people in this country. UAV Futures, Joshua Bardwell, Albert Kim, all these people have flown, I may have flown thousands of drones, everything, and I've flown a lot of them because, Albert Kim and I, we don't really discriminate a Bang Yang toy quadcopter versus something like a DJI FPV drone or iFlight Nazgul Evoke V2, whatever it is. Like, if it's cheap, I'll play with it. If it's fun, I'll fly it. So our opinions on this market is very valid, and the research that I have, the R&D that I have is 8 years deep in the drone community. So I know it from FPV to 4K camera drones, aerial platforms, surveillance, search and rescue, and all that stuff. So fixed wing, we do it all. But I feel like DJI with that Avata release. Now, I mean, you guys put some comments down here, and let me know if you think I'm wrong. But I feel like this release, and especially judging from the poll straight from you guys, um, do you feel like the DJI Avata is not? It's kind of, is it missing the boat? Is it gonna? It's not. I don't feel like it's gonna be a big seller. And that's kind of my prediction on this. If they go the route that they're headed with the, and I've been skeptical of DJI's releases in the past. I was skeptical with the DJI goggles, and people still remind me of that. Oh, you were skeptical of that. I was skeptical of that because at the time, a lot of the HD systems sucked. But I mean, if anybody can do it, DJI can do it, right? They have the biggest budget of any drone company in the world for personal drones. So if they can do it, they can't. But can they do it the way we want it done? You know what I mean? A lot of times they create these drones around a gigantic battery, and the way that these could be designed, they could make them lighter if they're using Lions. Um, 4S Lion, 6S, and it really depends on the aircraft because most of them are built to be cruisers, right? Am I right? Most of these DJI drones are cruisers. Now, performance-wise, you shouldn't even touch a DJI FPV drone. Just get a bind and fly. Get yourself the Mark V. Gep RC Mark V is my number one choice right now. Go watch my review on that one and pick one of those up. If you don't like it, please let me know. Also, I don't know if I can hop into my email, but if you guys have pictures of your current builds, or you have some kind of a question, we're also open Q&A today in this live stream, so we'll try to help you out with any technical questions that you have in any live streams that we do on the channel. If you want to ask a question, tips are absolutely welcome, and we will do our best right here to answer your question. So if you want to ask a specific question, you can email me, go to my About page on the community tab, or just email me at dronecamps@gmail.com, and I will try to respond during the live stream. But yeah, I wonder about that. I wonder if DJI, the thing is, they're watching our market, right? In our market for the last 12 months, there's been a lot of Cinewhoop releases. I mean, you just had Catalyst Machine Works, who has been in the upper echelons of FPV film cinema rigs and the upper echelon of 5-inch FPV freestyle drones, racing drones, top shelf components, and Catalyst Machine Works released a Cinewhoop, which is something I honestly, when they first started, I never thought I'd see Neil do that, but he did it, and it's a good release. We still have one in the shop, and it's doing really well. So I feel like the DJI is kind of piggybacking onto that trend, that Cinewhoop trend, but is the Cinewhoop market still popping like it was last year? You know what I mean? It seems like most of you guys right now are still hyped up on 5-inch, and 5-inch still seems to be king. So in my opinion, what I saw, most people in the drone community asking for, the FPV community asking for, you know, asking for a smaller version of an FPV drone with acro mode, not necessarily like a cinema drone. And DJI is they're doing it from this perspective. They're trying to sell to the masses, and we're not the masses. We're kind of a niche sector of the drone market. FPV is a niche sector still. It's not at all mainstream anymore, especially the drone craze. Peaked around 2017. So right now we're kind of back into the trenches of the hobby, kind of like when Horizon Hobby 10 years ago started blowing up, and they started selling a lot of buy-to-fly airplanes and helicopters. Helicopters got super popular, and RTF helicopter kits were flying out the door. And I became a Horizon Hobby dealer and opened up a store. But now it seems that there's been a lot of backsliding in the drone industry in the last 2 years, especially with COVID, so that even the offerings in like Best Buy are seem to be two brands, Autel and DJI. So Autel is kind of hanging in there, unique, dropped off the map. So they are releasing this type of release to kind of appeal to somebody that wants something they can just pick up and fly. And I mean, I understand that. That does help our hobby. Even though you guys could care less about buying one, most of you, because it doesn't have acro mode. And I've seen other little bind and fly prop guard thingies in the past come out from no-name companies. Really nice color printing on their boxes. Everything looked immaculately designed, but they kind of had really low performance. And one of the ones that I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was red and black. It was on my channel probably 3 or 4 years ago now, and it was a little Cinewoop. Well, it was a little drone with prop guard that had these little kind of twist on, lock on props, like DJI, and they were really chintzy feeling. Everything felt really plasticky, and it wasn't a super durable. Super quiet on the stream. Sorry about that. It wasn't super durable drone, and replaceable parts were not that available. So parts will be available for DJI stuff, and it will be for some while, for some time. But I think that if they release the DJI Avata the way it is, the current prototype that they have, I don't feel like it's going to be a huge seller. I think it's going to undersell, even under the FPV drone, because I feel like it's just it's an even smaller niche than something like the FPV drone that they came out with. So, am I wrong? What do you guys think? What's up, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully the sound is good. I got my phone plugged into the wall over here, so I'm on vacation this week, but I'm still trying to bring you guys some content and just give you guys my thoughts on. I mean, it changes every single day in the drone market, and it's kind of like crypto in a way. Like, there's just new stuff coming out all the time. There's new articles, and I'm constantly thinking about both of those things, and now some of the VR gaming that we're getting into on the channel. There's been some really rad updates on Oculus Quest 2 recently, and now it's called Meta Quest 2. And I believe there's a new headset coming out for that too. Lots of cool flying games, and you can fly. You can do VR Microsoft aircraft or airplane simulator on there as well, which I really want to get hooked up. I bought it, and then I just I got to get it hooked up. Somebody on the channel told me about that, so I'm super stoked about that because I want all the controls in a VR setup. Just I saw someone landed an airplane last week down in Florida. I think it was someone landed an airplane with very little training, some help from the control tower, and this guy landed the plane. It was pretty rad. But if you guys have any questions, we can try to provide some answers. If you're working on a current build and you have a question about something that you need help on, anything, we're here to help. As a community, join our Discord. Hit me up on my Patreon at the link below any of my videos. You can get into Patreon, and you can ask me direct questions on any of your builds or components or suggestions or anything like that. And most of us chime in on either the Discord for free, that one's free if you can get the link, or Patreon if you want to support the channel. Right now I'm trying to get my Patreon up to about 500 a month. That'd be super sweet. We need all the support we can get, because this is my main job, and times are tough out there right now for everybody. So I appreciate everyone right now that is supporting me. Thank you, super stoked on that. I do fly back to my studio tomorrow, so I'll be back around and in the area. Some of you guys that fly with me, hopefully we can get up and fly soon. But please do post your questions. We'll try to provide answers. What's up, Gilbin? What's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Give me a thumbs up if you're coming into the stream now. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, I just figured I'd get a quick stream in today because I was thinking a lot about that DJI Avata yesterday after we did our stream, and sometimes I like to post these polls because it's a direct, like, our community is a direct source into what people want, right? We're a pretty large group on YouTube, coming up on 180,000 subscribers, headed toward 200K. Super awesome. We're just going to keep going up. Been going for 8 years strong, and I don't plan on quitting this hobby anytime soon. I love it. But yeah, this is nice. I'm chilling here at this is my house out in Cape Hatteras. Yeah, Apone, I think that's kind of a good way to look at it. If it's a good drone, then why not own one? I know a lot of guys like to have a lot of variety of different aircraft in their hangar. I know that I like to have a little bit of everything. So William has a question about the tiny the Gap RC Tiny Go. That's one of our most popular sellers. If you're brand new to FPV, don't buy the Tiny Hawk. In my opinion, the Emax Tiny Hawk is good. It's easy to set up, but I think the Gap RC, the non 4K one even, is about $50 cheaper, I think. And I think for that one, if you're looking at a 1S battery to buy, some of the best ones are the all-line 450 milliamp batteries. For a 2S setup, you can put them in a series. If you're looking for a straight up, if you modded it to a XT30, I would go for the G&B batteries. The little G&B 450s are nice. I'm not sure you can run a 550 on the Tiny Go. It's been a while since I flew the Tiny Go. Yeah, thanks, God. We are a big channel. We're up to 38 million views on the channel. So I've been here for a minute in this community. We're really deep in the trenches of FPV and drones. I've seen a lot of companies come and go, and a lot of YouTubers come up, get into drones. I mean, people get super fired up about a subject, and they kind of start a YouTube channel based on their current passion, which is super cool. But I've just always had the passion to fly, and so being from Cape Hatteras, I'm 45 minutes away from where the Wright brothers flew in Kitty Hawk for the first time. So I grew up flying RC gliders off the sand dunes, and always being out on the beach and breaking balsa, going home and fixing monocoque wings. I started out flying gliders with no motors and Futaba radios. Then moved up to fueled flight. Fuel flight is a ton of fun. My favorite thing in the world is tuning a nitro engine. Even though they're loud as hell, and I can just really tell where that point is between like too rich and like too lean. I can get it there. I love breaking in brand new motors. Put a tank full of gas in them, and you run a tank full of gas through them. Just stake the plane down to the ground and let it run, spitting nitro oil all over the grass. It's not the most environmental friendly hobby, nitro airplanes. And they stink like hell when they're in the air. But something about that, we used to say nitro smells good in the morning. No telling what kind of health effects it does to you. Who knows? You're just breathing all that crap in. It's kind of like motor oil in the air because it has this grease to it. So it probably gets in your lungs. And my lungs are 2-part oxygen, one part nitrogen, or nitro fuel. Let's see, the HNT Helium crypto miners use LoRa for connection. I did not see that, but I was thinking a lot about helium mining lately. I would love to have a Bobcat 500 miner for hooking up to 5G. Guys that don't know what that is on the channel, a helium miner mines crypto over a 5G network. and it creates a hotspot on a map. And once you create a little, basically what you do is you create a little node, and it supports the network. And when you support the network and your hashing algorithm, or your hashing um, transactions on the blockchain, it gives you credits. It'll kick you off a little. It's like Mario Brothers. You get that little coin, and you're collecting these coins all day long, 24 hours a day, and you might make like $1 a day, or I don't know, maybe $5 a day on a helium miner. I don't think they're up to that, but maybe they are. I'd really like to review some of the helium miners, and I don't really care what company it's from. I mean, it'd be super cool. But right now the crypto market's down, and I mean we're in the trenches, and I'm not freaking out. I'm still in on a buy that I was in on a buy. I mean, I had Bitcoin that I bought in around 40. I bought in at the last time I bought in, and I was going to cash out that night because I was like, well, it's a pretty good high, and then I got greedy, and I was like, I'll wait till in the morning, and then Bitcoin dumped, and it had a historic dump the following day, and I didn't get out in time. Uh, and now mine's back. It might take a year to come back, or I might back up to where it was because, I mean, why not at this point? That's if I get kind of impatient, or I'll just start another account on another marketplace and trade on a different marketplace instead of messing with that account. Just leave it there. But we should do some live trading on one of these marketplaces. Be kind of fun. Yeah, Brighton, it'll come back, bro. It'll come back. I mean, right now I feel like it's kind of a good time to trade too because it's so freaking volatile. Like I'm looking at other coins because some of the other coins really have some big highs and lows, and there's some big percentage gains in there if you're looking for 2 to 5% on a trade and a gain. As long as you're trading out on the high and you take that risk and you set your stop loss. And people that are new to crypto need to learn about stop loss before they start trading, so you don't lose your asset, and don't let it sit there for too long. And what I've been told is make a trade, and when you go to bed at night, cash out back to USDT or whatever, and let it sit like that because it's more of a stable coin. And you're not. I don't usually ever let mine sit in Bitcoin like overnight, and that's a tough thing about the crypto market is that unlike stocks, crypto is 24/7, so the marketplace never closes. But that's what can be kind of fun. You can trade on the weekends if you want to. Where stock market, you gotta wait till Monday morning, wait till 9 a.m. East Coast time, pops off, and you can start trading. But I'm a little bit bullish right now on Tesla. I think if you get in on Tesla right now, in the next 10 years, Tesla's going to be like General Motors. I mean, they're just doing everything. Elon Musk is freaking a freaking genius. And they're like the next Apple. I mean, if you would have bought Apple shares back in $1,000 worth of Apple shares back in 2002, would now be worth around $450,000. So think about that. I was hot into Apple Computer since the mid 90s. That's what I went to school for and what I learned. And I wanted to invest in Apple when I had no money. I mean, I had no money. I should have. I mean, $1,000 was a lot to me in 2000. But if I had done that back then, man, I'd have bought another house with that money. I appreciate that. Thanks for that kind of comment, man. I freaking love doing videos, and that's who I am. I'm a video guy. My ex, for example, she's into literature and writing and reading, and that's cool. But I've always been a video guy. I just love videos, and I mean, I grew up watching cartoons and movies. That's why I'm here today making videos. I love film and TV. Freaking love it. It's never been bad for me. They say TV's bad for you. I know they say that, but dude, I love shows and cartoons. I still love Disney stuff and all that stuff, man. I'm big on that. By the Darwin Tiny 8. Yeah, you guys, if you want a good cheap beginner drone, go watch my review on the Tiny 8 from Darwin FPV. They're kind of like I feel like they're taking the flag where Ishin used to be. They've kind of handed the bar over to them, and they're running with that. I mean, the sentiment on Darwin FPV is pretty high. Like, people really like Darwin FPV. Inexpensive controller to buy and work with it. I think that if you want a cheap one that's gonna do the job and could be daily driver, I've used it. It's the T-Lite, the original T-Lite. I think it's around $60. Maybe it might be on sale right now. The T-Lite or the Zorro. I feel like if you want a little nicer controller, get the Radio Master Zorro. You can get the 2.4 version, or you can get the 915 version. But I mean, if you're a beginner, I would go with the 2.4 version, and get the 4-in-1 module. I wouldn't really start out with ELRS. If you get the 4-in-1 JP version, JP 4-in-1 will get you about 100 different receiver types. Or for those that know protocols, receiver type is called a protocol. For those that don't know, I hate to say things on my channel that's not general people speak, because getting into this, just like crypto, I love the channels that like you can relate to these guys and they speak people speak, because it's really hard to understand some of the acronyms and terms in the FPV community. I mean, FPV, for example, that's another acronym. Some people might not know what FPV means. There are people out there that don't know. Yep, 915 like the Bobcat. So that's why there's some interference sometime in really congested neighborhoods. If you're flying any type of FPV drone or quad, or DJI quad even, sometimes can have interference from Wi-Fi. Really strong routers and things like that can pop into a feed and cause interference. So it is possible. But I do watch Vosk sometimes, and he's hot on helium miners. Helium coin has gone way down recently, and I'd be kind of worried right now if I had $1 million worth of miners. And he's building a warehouse right now as well with solar panels, and I think that's the future as far as crypto mining goes. If you don't want to be hit by power regulations, they're focused in on crypto mining operations and the excessive use of power that they have to have. They have to have huge breaker boxes put in, and 240 volt on something like an ASIC miner. An ASIC miner, if you don't know, it's just an all-in-one box. It plugs in, hook it up to your freaking Wi-Fi, plug in a direct cable to it, and set it up on a little website, like Nice Hash, I think it is, most people use, and then you're off and running. You walk away from the thing. They don't require a lot of maintenance, but they do require some maintenance. We got a guy, real nice dude, Colby, who watches the channel, who's big into. He's got a nice farm set up. But I don't know what I'd rather do, like a solar farm or like a crypto. If I had the $10 million to spend, would I do a solar farm, or would I do a crypto mining farm? Maybe I should just get some chickens, sell some eggs, go back, get off the grid, start growing the farmers market. DJI is kind of like, I feel like they're kind of narrowing in on a certain like little sector of our market, and what you guys want. I feel like they could release a smaller version of the DJI FPV drone. If they released one that was 249 grams, that would be cool. With a tuned acro mode, and maybe even getting with HQ or Gem Fan and releasing some proper props with actual prop nuts on there. Get rid of the twist lock props. Are you with me? We don't need twist on, lock on props. That's ridiculous. Everybody, I mean, people know how to use a driver. You know, come on. People have been working on RC airplanes for decades, and sometimes you just need a little help, and you're good to go. You know what I mean? We got some different themes we can jump into here, color themes. It's a little bit dark in this living room. I should open up the blinds, but so I'd love to know what you guys think, and just pop that up in the chat if you want to let me know what you think about DJI's direction with the Avata. This is my third video on the Avata, and you know, I was thinking this afternoon, I'm thinking like, does DJI even really care about the core FPV community? Because that's not what the Avata is marketed at. It's not marketed toward us. It's marketed toward the guy that's going to walk in there that wants to pick it up off the shelf and fly it and buy it. I'm trying to figure out how to get the chat to stay up so I can read these questions. The app is making them pass by too quickly. My comments are flying away too fast, man. YouTube's got to slow that roll a little bit. All right, there we go. More FPV asks, why does it seem like the R9 900 megahertz gear gets such a bad rep nowadays compared to ELRS? Is it worth the switch? I would say that the R9 was one of those projects where it was hit or miss for some people. Some people long range tested it and they did really good with it. And it kind of like, the R9 helped basically get us to where we are with the ELRS market, because once Bardwell and others started modding their firmware to run ELRS, Wesley, they came up with ELRS later, and it got really standardized. So yeah, I don't know why it had such a bad rep. I guess because it was in beta phase for so long. And R9 really, I don't know if it ever really came out of beta phase, to be honest. That was R9 was like a shot in the dark at with semi cheap hardware on that module to take a shot at Crossfire TBS and make something as an alternative to that. But that original idea, you know, spawned off into what we know as mainstream ELRS from all the different companies now. Pretty much every company has their own module now. iFlight, Happy Model, and I wish their receivers were cross compatible, because sometimes if you want to use a certain receiver like GEP-RC receiver on iFlight module, it might not work or might not bind up, so you got to flash the receiver. Flashing ELRS receivers is, you know, not the funnest thing in the world. But there are tutorials. Luis is one of my good buddies here in the chat, and he said it's easy to flash R9 gear to use ELRS. Bardwell, I think Bardwell does have a tutorial on that, and he did it like maybe like, seems like 2 years ago now. It was a while ago he did that. But they've been experimenting with that for a long time. And I mean, if you have one and you don't want to spend the money on it, do it. Why not? I have an old PC that I just flashed over to Linux because Windows 10 sucks. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like, if you have the hardware sitting there, why not do it? Just use what you've got. You know what I mean? You don't really need to buy something brand new. So I'm not here to make you guys buy a whole bunch of stuff. I just want to bring you my opinion on stuff. But if you buy something, use my link, please. Of course, I am not ashamed of internet panhandling. Oh, Boone, North Carolina, that's cool. I'm just scrolling back through the chat. You guys try to get some of these questions up. Luis, if you see one in there that's an important question that we can answer, let me know. Yeah, Paul B said, if it's over 250 grams and no acro, I'm out. You know, the thing about this is that The Avata is going to come out with no acro, most likely, because they want it to be similar to all the other DJI offerings, all the other DJI drones that are store bought off the shelf. So people in the drone community and the FPV community are going to bitch about it, and they're going to want it, and then they're going to do an update, a firmware update, maybe a week later after the release, that will allow acro mode to open up on the Avata. Like, mark my words, they're going to do that. So anybody that's worried about acro not being on the Avata, it'll be coming. Because when people say they want it, they'll do an update for it. And they're finding out right now. They're watching these videos and they're finding out what you guys feel about things. And this is the best thing for their R&D for their new product releases, because you guys are the source of what everybody wants. I'm just scrolling back through the comments. Bunch of R9 gear, and you flashed it. Yeah, it's simple. So I'm streaming today off the YouTube app on my phone. It's not the greatest thing in the world. I got some sweet new stream software. Paul B says, stick with the chickens. Chickens might be more profitable, but those things die like rabbits. We had 6 chickens last year, and now we got 4. I want a couple ducks, but my girlfriend, I don't think Rebecca's into ducks. I'd really like to have ducks. They make bigger eggs, and they're good for cooking or bacon. E-Rock says he bought Bitcoin way back for $25 each and had to build up good a bit. Cashed out 80% at its highest. Hell yeah! And let's say I'm retired, dude. Yeah, that's what Rebecca says. Ducks are messy and they poop a lot. But yeah, dude, I was gonna start mining back in 2014, and a really good friend of mine who's an IT guy, works for the government, told me, don't get into that. It's a pain in the ass. The GPUs get really hot. Don't worry about building one. Crypto's a scam. But if I had started mining Bitcoin back in 2014, I mean, I know how to build computers. I can build a computer. And dude, I would be so Bitcoin well off right now. Because I was thinking about it in the early days when it was just nothing. And now, since the pandemic, if you go back and you look at the graphs and where crypto really took off, it's right about 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic, because all of a sudden you had all these people thinking that like the end of the world could happen any day, and that, oh my God, I need to put like my fiat or my assets into something that is decentralized and can't be touched and can't be taken away by the government or whatever, or I could just diversify and put some of my assets over here and then some over here, so that I have some safe harbor for some of my money. But I mean, I don't know if crypto is a safe asset, and they, don't, for God's sakes, don't sell your house and buy into any crypto coin. There are people that do that. People that sell everything they have to try to invest, and then they lose their ass. So you gotta be smart. You gotta be careful. Don't go deep. 10% of your income, fine. And this is not investment advice. The V3 goggles they're on the way, and man, Trotter, I still have a pair of DJI V1s that I use with all of my drones. I have the Chimera 7 right now that I have DJI version 1, and I kept my V2s just because I was worried that cross compatibility might be a thing, but I'm still able to use my V1 DJI FPV goggles on any of my DJI modules. All the Cadex modules work on it for me, and I bind it up to the newest bind and fire releases, so that's good. Lithium mines. That sounds good. I'm looking for some lucrative investments on the stock market for sure. I'd like to find something that was fairly safe. And I hate to leave in large amounts of money on any one asset. It's good to spread it out. And a friend of mine told me to do S&P 500 and then do like something like some bonds on the other side. So when the stock market dips, the bonds go up, or if the bonds dip, stock market goes up. So your money kind of stays about the same, which is pretty cool. But I'm not. I don't trust the stock market, and I really don't trust crypto the same way. You know what I mean? Because some of these companies or these projects, they can do a, they can do a what they call rug pull, and this project can like basically disappear overnight. Like in the case of Luna, uh, people lost everything they owned in Luna. And I got my mom coming in here. Yeah. Say hi to the live stream.
Who?
This is Miss Drone Camps right here, you guys. Miss Drone Camps.
Miss Drone Camps. Mama Drone
Mama
Camps.
Drone Camps. Not my wife, you guys.
No, Miss Mama Drone Camps.
Keep it straight.
To you.
Yeah, Mama Drone Camps to you guys. So yeah, it would be nice to have a couple miners, but they're so expensive. I don't feel like paying $10,000 on something that I'm not even sure it's going to get delivered for 6 months. Gold Shell is one of the companies that makes really nice ASIC miners. But again, I mean, to get any kind of profit or daily profit out of a good miner, you need something like like at least the S9 Antminer or whatever, or one of the higher ends. Like if you really want to make a good daily profit, $50 or more, you need like a $25,000 ASIC, and that's on one machine. That's crazy, right? That's a lot of money, right? So I just can't go that deep on anything. I'm one of those investors. I'm like, hold on, I'm dropping my phone. I'm one of those investors that's kind of like a very cautious investor. I don't go all in on anything. Not even drones. Man, what's up, Phoenix Fly Times? Welcome to the stream. You guys smash that like button there if you're enjoying the stream. Just kind of a casual stream today, talking about some of the thoughts that I had on DJI Zavada release coming up. And it may be released in a little over a month's time. It's pretty cool. So, I'm always skeptical about DJI's new releases, and I guess because it's so far removed from what all of us want, you know what I mean? Oh, awesome. Day trader. Awesome. I'm trying to learn everything I can about day trading. It'd be nice to make a little bit of extra daily income on some day trading, even if it was like just a couple trades a day. But you need to have a pretty good amount of capital to make any gains. You can't just trade like $100. I mean, there's some people that can, but there's a couple marketplaces out there that have no fee trades. I think that's the best, because like FTX and the other ones, they have like, it's like $1 per trade. So if you're making a 5-minute or a 15-minute trade, it doesn't make sense to sit there and try to make a profit and only get like a dollar profit on each trade. But you can do 100 trades a day, and then if you made $1 on 100 trades a day, that's $100 in a day. to the moon. Let's go. I always thought it would be cool if we had like a drone, like an official drone, like a drone crypto coin that you could buy drone gear with specifically. I thought about making like a, you know, like a drone camps coin, but it doesn't make sense. Or an FPV coin. We don't really need that. But since I've been learning about that market, I mean, I've thought of everything, but I need to do a video on metaverse too, because a lot of these companies are trying to create metaverses, and people think if they just create a metaverse that they're going to be the next big thing and it's going to be popular. But when you create a game, you have to have a reason for people to stay there and stay engaged. If you just create a game and expect people to a community to develop, it takes years to do that. It took like Second Life probably 5 years of updates and firmware updates and constant upgrades to their platform to create a community. I'm Gandalf. I'm from North Carolina, but also based out of Oregon. And we're in North Carolina right now. This is my house. So you guys get to check out Drone Camps Casa. You can rent this place on Airbnb. Shameless plug. 1937. Craftsman, Sears and Roebuck house. Look up Buxton, North Carolina, and rent my place. The Drone Camps headquarters. Who's calling?
North Carolina.
Spam call. Yeah. And honestly, I think probably the best, safest investment is real estate. Am I right? Because stock market's crashing. I'm scared to put more money into that. I don't have anything really in the stock market. Just right now, everybody's looking for safe investment. I feel like real estate, and there's about to be a housing crash as well next year, so prices might go dirt cheap. Might be the time to buy next year. Right now, mortgage loan rates are too high, 6% on someone who has like 800 credit. 6% is freaking high. That's ridiculous. The feds are raising their interest rates on, I mean, but you can get, if you're a first time buyer right now, you can get a $15,000 tax credit, which is super sweet. So basically paying me $15,000 to buy a house, which would be super nice. You were in Avon every year for the last 6 years. That's cool. Windsurfing in April, nice. Yeah, Buxton's a good place for even kiting. Like my, I call my cottage here Kite Point Cottage because we're right down the street from Kite Point. And that's what my friends and I named it like 20 years ago. It's this little tiny point right at the end of Buxton, super sweet. Now they have a parking lot. We used to just park on the side of the road. But all my buddies used to come from like Washington, D.C., down from Maryland, upper Northeast. All my buddies up there come down here and stay here. I'd have a house full of dudes kiting. People sleeping all over the floors. But now it's like, you know, now it's a straight up rental. So I don't get to. It's been totally booked. So I haven't been able to get in here. But it's nice to be in my own house for once. I appreciate all the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, get Gandalf. the mainline baseline for support in Bitcoin right now is like 29.30, 29.30. All right, Luis, have a good one, bro. Hit me up when I get back in town, Luis. But yeah, Gandalf, it's like 29,000, 30 and whatnot. So doesn't seem to be like very volatile, but it hasn't dropped to 22. Like people like BitBoy, some of the other guys, the channels that I watch, Vosk, they all seem to think that it's going to drop down to like 22,000, but I don't know. What's up, Run Puppy? Welcome to the stream. We're just talking about DJI Avata and a little bit of crypto chat. But I don't know if it's going to bottom out at 22,000. I don't know if it's going to do that. And no one, see, the thing about it is everybody has a crypto forecast, but no one really knows what it's going to do. No one fucking knows. No one knows. No one knows what it's going to do. Crypto is, it's software. It's an algorithm. So no one really knows what it's going to do. But I think it'll go back up. It's just going to take some time. But yeah, I just wanted to hop in here and give you my thoughts and feelings on the DJI Avata, because I feel like really seriously that it's kind of too marginal, and I think DJI would do better if they went the route that you guys want them to go. You guys want like a bind and fly, and they're probably not even going to do a bind and fly. You always have to buy their controller as an RTF or without goggles. But it would be nice if they did a bind and fly. They're going to use a proprietary flight controller and firmware, which is annoying, but it will fly out of the box. But I wish they had done like a more FPV oriented version of the Mini 3 with like a 35-minute flight time. Come on. We don't need, with those type of drones, we don't really need like high performance. It doesn't have to be high performance. And I think that's what they're steering away from. They never release anything that has like super high performance. But if they did, it would be cool. I keep wanting them to do like a plane, like an FPV fixed wing, similar to something like Parrot did. There was like all kinds of CAD drawings and people that were coming up with DJI style FPV wings and things. That would be cool if they did that. Like an auto launch DJI system. Fixed wing would be super killer. Because my favorite FPV format to this day is still fixed wing. I would fly that over quads out on the coast if I want to do some range flying. But I'm gonna head out of here. But I just wanted to get online today with you guys and share some of my thoughts and let you check out my spot here. You can check out my Airbnb in Buxton. It's Kite Point Cottage. Cute little tiny blue house, and it's a great getaway for a couple people. Yeah, there'll be brighter days. There'll be brighter days in the drone market and for crypto. You just gotta hold, like William Wallace, hold the line. Just hang in there, everybody. For the coming recession too. It's gonna be a recession this summer. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be shitty. So everybody stick together and hold tight, because it's about to get super bad out there. Big recession, huge recession. Hold it, hold the line, you guys. But I appreciate all you guys hanging out and watching. Any of those questions that you guys have on current builds or any drone FPV questions you have, just shoot me an email on my website, dronecamps.com, and check me out on Patreon. I really appreciate the support if you hop in there and become a Patreon, and then we can talk directly, person to person. So coming up on an hour on the stream, I'm gonna say goodbye for now, everybody, and I will see you on the next one. Y'all take care. I will see you in P-Town on the West Coast. See you soon, guys. Stay fly. Talk to you on the next one. Later, guys. Later, Run Puppy. Later, David. Appreciate y'all hanging. Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. I'll see you on the next one, guys. All right, bye now. Bye-bye.